Imagine if everything you've ever tried to attract money into your life was missing a single secret ingredient, something so simple you already have it in your home. Yet it carries a spiritual force capable of opening closed doors, dissolving invisible blocks, and multiplying the flow of prosperity all around you. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life does not only reply to what you think or what you say once in a while. Life answers the energy you bring into every room, the intention behind your smallest actions, the quiet signal your presence sends before a word is spoken. There is an old, simple practice that brings your spoken word together with a humble element many people overlook. That element is salt. Most of us treat salt like a basic kitchen item. We sprinkle it on food and move on. We pass the salt and never think about it again. But pause for a second. Salt is older than our stories. It is found in our tears and in the sweat of our work. It fills the seas that surround our continents. It has been traded, honored, and used in blessings for centuries because it does not spoil or decay. In a gentle way, salt holds a memory of the earth. When used with intention, it can help you shift how money flows toward you, protect your space, and invite new opportunities that once felt out of reach. What I am sharing is not superstition, and it is not empty hope. Think of it as spiritual practice, made practical. You prepare your field, you speak with clarity, you keep your daily actions simple and steady. Thousands of people have tried a small ritual with salt and a firm word of intention and noticed that something began to change. Ideas were easier to catch. The right person appeared. A door that felt stuck finally moved. Money started to arrive by law, not by force. Let yourself wonder for a moment. The next improvement you need might already be sitting quietly on a kitchen shelf. It might be waiting for your clear word to wake it up. Think of those times when money seemed to slip away no matter how hard you worked. One bill was paid and another appeared. You planned carefully, and yet something always interrupted just as things were getting better. Many people tell themselves that it is only the economy or bad timing or bad luck. Sometimes those things matter. Yet underneath all that, there can be old energy that hangs on. It can be the residue of lack, a habit of speech that cancels your good, or even family stories about money that still echo in your life. Florence reminded us that real change begins within, but it is strengthened by simple outer acts that match your intention. Salt in this work is not a charm, it is a support. It acts like a small amplifier for your word and a seal for your decree. It is the bridge between what you ask for and the field that is always responding. When you learn how to use salt with a calm mind and a clear voice, small alignments begin to stack up. A conversation leads to a lead becomes an offer. Your days feel less heavy. You stop pushing and start allowing. Money learns the way to you because you have made a clear path. In a moment, I will show you how to prepare, how to declare, how to place this practice in your day, and how to seal your results so that prosperity is not a wish that fades, but a rhythm that grows. Before we move on, I would like to invite you into something that strengthens this work for everyone. Write the sentence, "I activate the salt law," in the comments. This is not a throwaway line. It is a clear signal. When many people declare the same clean intention, the field that we share gets stronger and results come faster. If this message speaks to you, press subscribe and turn on notifications. Each new person who joins this circle adds strength to the shared field we are building. We lift one another when we learn together and speak together. No one is left outside. A like or a share might look small from the outside, But in this space, it is an offering that helps the work reach the person who needs it next. You may never meet them, but your action supports their step, and their step supports yours. That is how a current grows. There is also a way to support this mission in a more direct way if you feel called. You can send a super thanks by tapping the heart icon below this video, or become a member and step into a more focused circle for deeper practice. Any amount is welcome. Every seed is honored. What matters is the intention. A small offering, when blessed, returns in multiplied form as an open door, an unexpected discount, a timely idea, a calm solution that saves you time and money. That is how circulation works. What you send out in faith returns under grace. Take a slow breath with me. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a soft current of light linking you to everyone listening right now. Imagine that current weaving across cities and countries, across bedrooms and kitchens and desks, until we form one steady field of clear intention. Let it widen. Let it grow. Let it make a path where you could not find one yesterday. Your presence here is not small. It is the start of a new tone in your life. You do not need to feel anything dramatic for this to work. You do not need special candles or rare supplies. You only need a pinch of salt, a simple container, and a quiet voice that means what it says. You will be learning a way to place your intention into matter so that your words do not float away as hope, but settle as a command your life can follow. We will keep the steps clear. We will keep the language simple. We will keep the focus on what helps you now. As you listen, you might notice a thought rise in you that says this is too simple. That voice is common. We have been taught to believe that only hard things can change our lives. Florence offered another view. The invisible moves through the channels we prepare. A small, steady act can do more than a large, frantic one. Salt, when used with a clean word, is a small, steady act. It is a daily reminder to turn your speech toward increase. It is a cue to pause before you complain. It is a touchstone that brings you back to your decree when old patterns try to return. Stay with me, because in the next part, we will anchor this in a vivid story, so you can see how an ordinary person used this practice in a very simple way and watch life line up in his favor. For now, hold the main idea close. You are not trying to push life into working. You are learning to let law answer a clear command. You are learning to carry a field that tells money and opportunity where to go. You are learning to bless what you have and invite what is next, gently and firmly at the same time. Let today be the moment you decide to practice, not just listen. Put a small container within reach. Place a pinch of salt inside. When you see it, let it remind you to speak like a person who expects good. Let it remind you to claim supply before you see it. Let it remind you to finish your words with a calm seal under grace. You will be surprised how quickly your days begin to feel different when your word and your action agree. If you feel a lift in your chest or a little quiet in your mind as you hear this, that is your own field answering. Take one more breath. Tell yourself, I am ready to learn a simple way to welcome increase. I am ready to speak and to see. I am ready to let the next part show me what this looks like in real life. Last week, an email arrived at just the right time. It came from a subscriber named Daniel M. He is 42 years old and lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. His message sounded like many I have received from people who work hard and still feel stuck. He said he never thought he would write a note like this because he's never seen himself as a spiritual person. He believed in keeping his head down, taking extra shifts, cutting expenses, and hoping that steady effort would carry him through. but for years it felt like running on a treadmill. He worked late. He gave up weekends. He squeezed every dollar. Yet every time he thought he was getting ahead, something reached in and pulled the ground back. A car repair, a medical bill, a family need that could not wait. He said it felt like an invisible hand held him a step away from the life he wanted to give his family. One night, after staring at numbers and feeling that old tightness in his chest, Daniel watched a video and decided to try the salt practice. He did not follow it in a perfect way. He did not hold the salt in both hands with music and candles. He made it simple and personal. He found a very small glass jar, about the size of a shot glass. He put a spoon of salt inside and set it on his desk beside the computer he uses to clock in from home. Later, he found a tiny bottle for a keychain, filled it with salt, and clipped it to his car keys. He told no one. He did not want to explain himself or make a scene. He simply gave the act a clear word. He whispered one short sentence: "I activate the salt law. May abundance find its way to me and my home." He did not chant it for hours. He did not force a feeling. Some mornings, he said the line before he walked out the door. Some afternoons, he touched the tiny jar while sitting in traffic and pictured the salt collecting old worry and dissolving it. He imagined a path opening where his mind only saw walls. On days when doubt was loud, he would press his thumb to the keychain bottle and speak the sentence again in a calm voice, like setting a radio station that had drifted. At first, he felt silly, his words. He said he almost laughed at himself that first week. Nothing dramatic happened. There were no fireworks. But he kept going because it cost nothing and took only a breath. The jar on his desk became a small reminder to clean up the way he talked about money. He caught himself before he complained. He stopped telling the same old story about how nothing ever works out. He learned to pause for 2 seconds, place a hand near the jar, and say a better line. Supply meets the demand. The way will appear. He said this tiny change in speech felt like moving a heavy dresser 1 inch at a time. Not flashy, not loud, but real. A side note here for those who like a simple anchor. Daniel mentioned that having a container he liked made it easier to keep the practice close. If you want a neat little jar for your own ritual, I will put a link in the first comment. It is optional. Any clean container will do. Choose what feels right in your hand. The point is not to spend. The point is to give your intention a home and to see it each day. About 2 weeks after he started, Daniel got a phone call. Months earlier, he had applied to a logistics company a few neighborhoods from his house. He had assumed the job was gone because he never heard back. He told himself they had already found someone with more experience. This call told a different story. The person the company had planned to hire had stepped away at the last minute. The team needed someone reliable and ready to start. They wanted to talk to Daniel that same week. He said at first he almost downplayed it. The salary was only about 10% higher than his current pay. It did not look like a huge jump on paper. But then he looked at the map. The office was 15 minutes from his home, not an hour across town. He began to see the real gain. More sleep, dinner with his kids, weekends that were not just recovery, less gas, less stress, less time in traffic doing math in his head. He felt a lift he had not felt in years, the kind that comes when a door fits and opens without force. Daniel wrote that he still was not sure if this was all a neat coincidence or if the ritual had set something in motion, but he knew one clear thing. He felt better with the practice than without it. He felt more steady. He felt less alone. He wanted to keep going. He now keeps a small amount of salt in 3 places: on the desk, at home, on his keychain, in a thin paper packet tucked in his wallet. He does not show it off. He does not argue with anyone about it. Some coworkers asked if he was carrying good luck charms. He smiled and changed the subject. He said, "What matters is not what other people think. What matters is the quiet change in his own mind and the way life has begun to meet him." I share Daniel's story because it shows the heart of this practice. It is not about perfect steps. It is about a clear word plus a simple physical cue you can repeat. It is about turning your speech from fear to faith in the moment you would normally slide back into old lines. When you anchor your intention in a visible way and return to it daily, the field around you reorganizes. You notice ideas that were already there. You follow up on things you used to postpone. You stand a little taller in rooms where you once shrank. You allow help. You see a bridge where you only saw distance. Daniel did not force a result. He did not demand a miracle on a deadline. He showed up. He placed the salt where he would see it. He kept his voice simple. He kept his steps small. He let the law do what the law does when given a clear path. His raise looked modest at first, but the real profit was time, peace, and the sense that his life belonged to him again. That is increase. That is wealth in the language of the Spirit. Money is part of it, and so are rest and presence and mornings that begin without dread. As you hold this story, let it nudge you toward your own small start. You can make this your way. Place a tiny container where your eyes land again and again. Give your practice a one-line command that you can say without strain. Use your commute, your coffee break, or the pause before you open a bill to reconnect. If you forget for a day, begin the next day without blame. This is not about being perfect. It is about being present. It is about training your field to expect good and training your tongue to agree. We will move next into the steps so you can try what Daniel tried, with clear guidance and room to make it fit your life. You will see how to prepare and how to seal it so the ritual stays light and strong. For now, take one breath and let the simple truth land. A small act repeated with sincerity can change the tone of a home. A short sentence spoken with meaning can give life a map. A pinch of salt can be the way you remember to speak like a person who knows that supply is on the way. When Daniel looked back a month later, he noticed that the change had not arrived with noise. It came like a quiet tide. The long drive shrank to a short one. His mornings were less rushed. He felt more present at dinner. He did not walk into the weekend already exhausted. The 10% raise mattered, but what surprised him most was the ease. He said the pressure in his chest had loosened. He was less quick to speak the old lines that shut doors. He found himself saying thank you in advance before answers showed up. He kept the tiny jar on the desk as if it were a small lighthouse for his attention. He kept the keychain bottle because it was a quick way to remember a better sentence while the world moved fast around him. He did not try to convince anyone. He simply noticed that life met him more gently when he met life with a clearer word. This is how the work often unfolds. The ritual does not change the universe. It changes your position in it. You stop arguing for limits. You stop delaying small, helpful actions. You make room for ideas to land. The field answers that clarity. You see connections you missed. You hear the phone when it matters. You take the meeting you would have postponed. You follow through on the simple thing that turns a loose thread into a real offer. You are not chasing. You are allowing. And allowing has its own speed. Now let us make this practical so you can begin without strain. Keep the spirit of Daniel's approach. Keep it small. Keep it sincere. Choose a clean container that you do not mind seeing every day. A glass jar, A small dish, a tiny bottle that fits on a keychain. Rinse it, dry it, and set it where your eyes naturally land. Put a pinch of salt inside. Hold the container or rest your fingers on it. Let the day slow down for a moment. Take one calm breath in, one calm breath out, as if you are clearing space inside so the new can arrive. Bring your mind to a single intention. It might be a need for steady income. It might be a desire for a clear path out of debt. It might be the feeling of safety you want to build for your home. Do not wrestle with the words. Speak them plain. Say the activation line slowly so you can hear yourself mean it. I activate the salt law. I am ready to receive prosperity. I allow abundance to enter my life. I release old blocks and welcome new blessings. If the word under grace helps you feel safe and right, add it at the end in a steady tone. Do not push for a sensation. Some people feel warmth or tingling. Others feel nothing at all. Both are fine. What matters is that your voice and your breath agree. Place the container where it belongs, on the desk where you work, by the bed where your first thoughts begin, in the car where you face the world each morning. If it sits on your keychain, let your thumb find it while you wait at a light. If it rests on a shelf, let your eyes touch it when you pass. Each glance is a small reset. Each touch is a cue to pause and speak like a person who expects good. When an old line tries to return, let the jar remind you to switch it. Instead of, there is never enough, try supply meets every demand in perfect ways. Instead of, I always get blocked, try the way appears for me now. Refresh the salt when you feel called, or once a week if a rhythm helps you. Do it with a short note of thanks. Empty the old salt with care. Pour it into running water or scatter it outside. Say thank you for what you carried. I now release you. Fresh salt goes in with a clear breath. This closes one loop and opens another. It keeps the act simple and clean. It keeps your attention in the present where power lives. You can fold the ritual into real moments so it feels like part of your day, not an extra task. Before an interview, hold the container and declare a calm success. Before you pay a bill, touch the container and say, every seed I release returns multiplied under grace. When doubt stands at the door, place your palm near the salt and repeat your line until your voice returns to steady. If you forget for a day, return the next day without judgment. This is not a test. It is a practice. It welcomes beginners every time. Do not be surprised if the first signs are small. A fee is waived. A refund arrives. A stranger holds a door and you make a call on time because of it. A friend mentions an opening that fits your skill. These are not random. They are the field doing what the field does when your signal is consistent. Your attention will want to skip past quiet help because it is used to looking for big signs. Teach it to notice the small ones. Let them count. Let them build. Nothing is wasted. It can help to keep a simple page nearby. Write the date and note one ease you received that day. It can be money. It can be an idea. It can be a moment of peace that changed how you handled a problem. This is not for a grade. It is for your own eyes. After a month, the page will show you a pattern your memory would have missed. You will see that when you changed your word, life changed its answer. You will see that when you planted a small seed in salt and spoke with care, the return began in many forms at once. If someone asks what you are doing, you can keep it private or share a sentence. I am practicing speaking from a calmer place. The details are yours. Your results do not depend on other people approving your steps. They depend on you returning to your anchor when the day pulls you away. That is why a tiny jar can do so much. It is hard to forget a promise when it is sitting in plain sight. It is hard to slide fully back into worry when your fingertips know where to land. Some will ask why something so simple works at all. The clear answer is that your mind and body respond to cues. A physical anchor makes a new thought easier to reach. Salt is ordinary, and that is its strength. It lets you practice every day without drama. It carries the feeling of clean and steady. It holds your decree the way soil holds a seed. You are not waiting for luck to rescue you. You are giving the law a clear instruction in a form it can follow through daily acts. As you begin, remember Daniel's lesson. He did not try to be perfect. He tried to be present. He used plain words. He did not argue with results. He did not rush the process or demand a date on the calendar. He gave the law something simple to multiply. He let patience do part of the work. He noticed the gift that did not wear a dollar sign, and that noticing unlocked more. That is how a life turns without strain. Take a breath now and picture your own small start. See the container on your table. See your hand move toward it without effort. Hear yourself speak the line in a tone that feels true. Feel the moment after when you say nothing and allow the quiet to settle. This is where the shift begins, not in a display, but in a decision, not in a grand gesture, but in a repeatable one. Let the salt be your reminder. Let your word be your way. Let the next door open because you have learned to knock in a new manner, steady and sure, under grace. People have honored salt for a very long time. In many old cultures, it stood for purity, honesty, and a promise that lasts. It was used in offerings, at tables, and in covenants because it does not rot or burn away. It keeps what is good from spoiling. That steady nature made salt a symbol of what is clean and reliable. Sacred texts across traditions use salt language to teach about speech and character. Words should be seasoned with care. Life should keep its agreements. None of this is far from daily life. It is simple and close. Salt endures. It reminds your mind to choose what lasts. There is also a body-level truth here. Your blood is salty. Your tears and sweat are salty. Your nerves rely on salt to carry tiny electrical signals so you can think, move, feel, and speak. When you talk, your voice travels through a body made of water and salts. So the idea that your spoken word interacts with matter is not strange or wild. It already does every second you are alive. A clear word repeated with calm trains your brain and your nervous system to expect an answer. A small anchor like salt keeps the loop simple. You speak, you notice, you act from steadiness. The field matches you with events, people, and timing that hold the same tone. Florence said the invisible moves through channels that are ready. The salt on your desk is not the source. It is the channel. It holds your decision in a form you can touch. It is a small amplifier for your decree. It is a place to seal your word under grace. This is why the practice works better when you use it daily. You are not trying to summon a miracle by force. You are teaching your tongue, your breath, and your attention to move together. That unity is what law answers. Salt also helps with clearing. Across many paths, people have used a sprinkle of salt at the door, a pinch in water, or a small dish on a shelf to mark a space as clean and safe. Think of it as a reset. When you place the container and bless it, you are telling your mind that this area is for calm work and honest speech. You release stale thoughts each time you refresh the salt. You welcome a fresh start. That permission matters. Many people do not fail for lack of effort. They stall because the room inside feels crowded with old lines. A simple reset gives your next word a real place to land. There will be times when you doubt. That is normal. You may ask if a pinch of salt in a sentence can really change anything. Let your answer be kind and simple. The ritual is not changing the laws of the world. It is changing the way you meet those laws. It is a practical way to stop feeding fear and to start feeding faith. It slows you down long enough to choose a better sentence and to take the next useful step. From there, results stack. Small change on small change. Then a lift you can feel. It helps to keep your practice human. If you speak a decree in the morning and then complain the rest of the day, you are giving mixed orders. The container will remind you to steer back without drama. When you see it, breathe once and ask yourself if your words match your aim. If not, make one correction. You are not asking for perfection. You are asking for agreement between your mouth, your mind, and your actions. This is how a line of power forms. This is how money and favor find you without a chase. Community adds another layer. When many people focus on a clean desire, results often come faster. It is not magic thinking. It is how attention works in groups. A shared phrase gives a shared rhythm. When you write, I activate the salt law, you feel less alone. You borrow courage from others and lend yours back. Their wins encourage your patience. Your progress encourages theirs. This is circulation in a living form. It is the same logic as money flow. What moves returns. What is hoarded grows stale. If you want to strengthen your practice, bring it into ordinary moments. Before a meeting, touch the container and choose a calm outcome. When you pay a bill, bless the flow out and the greater flow in. When worry tries to take over, rest your fingers on the jar and speak your line until your breath steadies. You can place a small pinch of salt near your front door with a quiet welcome for honest work and kind guests. You can keep a tiny amount in your wallet as a reminder to treat money as a friend that visits often. None of these are complex. They are small bridges back to your decree. You can also keep a simple note of proof. At the end of each day, write one-way ease, found you. It might be money, it might be time saved, it might be a clear idea that replaced panic. After a few weeks, the page will show you that the tone of your days has changed. Your memory will try to downplay this. The page will not. It will show patterns. It will teach your mind to expect good because you have seen it with your own eyes. If someone close to you does not understand, you do not need to argue. Explain simply that you are practicing clearer speech and calmer action, and that the salt helps you remember. If they tease, smile, and carry on, the practice is yours. Your results are yours. Often the same people will ask for help later when they notice your steadier way of living. There may be a day when a setback arrives, a fee you did not expect, a plan that falls through. Do not throw away the practice. Use it. The anchor is for storms as much as for calm. Place your hand near the container. Speak your line. Add this if you need it. What is right for me arrives in perfect ways under grace. Then take the next plain step. Call who you must call. Adjust what you must adjust. Meet the moment with the tone you want life to return to you. That act keeps your field clear. It keeps you from turning a bump into a spiral down. You can refresh the practice with seasonal rhythms. At the start of each month, replace the salt and speak a fresh decree for that month. At the end of the month, release the old salt with thanks. This frames time as a series of clean starts. It keeps the practice from growing dull. It gives you natural points to review your page of proof and to notice how far you have come in small steps. Above all, remember that the law answers a clear command spoken with faith and followed by simple action. Salt is a tool to keep you aligned. It is ordinary on purpose so you can use it daily without effort. It helps you bring the invisible into the visible by training your attention and your word to agree. It helps you bless what you have, invite what is next, and walk in a tone that money and opportunity can recognize. Under grace, in perfect ways, your life learns to meet you where you stand. Stay with the practice. Keep it light. Keep it honest. The rest will gather. As you keep this practice day by day, the change shows up first in the way you move through ordinary moments. The salt on your desk or in your car stops feeling like an object and becomes a quiet partner. You reach for it without thinking when pressure rises. You speak your line before a meeting, before opening a bill, before you step through your own front door. Over time, you notice that your body settles faster. Your breath steadies. Your mind chooses kinder words. This is the proof that the spiral has begun. You are not forcing anything. You are tuning yourself to a steadier song, and life answers that tone with its own steady gifts. Gratitude becomes both cause and effect. The more you notice the good that comes, the more good seems to come. It can be small at first. A bill is lower than you thought. A friend sends an unexpected message at the right time. You find a clear sentence for a problem that felt tangled. Each time you say thank you out loud, even if it is quiet, you mark the moment. You tell your field to repeat it. It is like turning on a porch light. What you welcome can find you again. This practice is for the hard days too. There will be times when old fear knocks. There will be weeks when a plan takes longer than you hoped. You may feel the urge to rush or to prove. On those days, do not abandon your anchor. Use it. Put your hand on the jar. Say your line with a slow breath. Add this if you need it. What is right for me arrives in perfect ways under grace. Then do the next simple task in front of you. Send the email. Ask the clear question. Take the walk that clears your head. You are not trying to leap to the end. You are choosing the next right step and sealing it with a calm word. This keeps the spiral moving when your mind wants to stall. You will begin to notice how the practice changes your relationships. When you carry the tone of enough, people feel safer around you. Conversations soften. Help shows up because you are easier to help. You do not push the river. You do not grab. You receive and you give with a lighter touch. You stop arguing with good news. You let it land. You bless others without fear that you are losing something. Increase proves itself by circulation. What you pass on in faith returns in forms you could not plan. Money becomes a friend you treat with respect. You stop using it to punish yourself. You stop talking about it like an enemy. When it comes, you say thank you. When it goes to a bill or a seed, you bless the flow. You hold the container for a moment and affirm that every seed returns multiplied under grace. You watch how this posture affects your choices. You negotiate with a clearer voice. You invest in the tool you need instead of buying the thing that numbs you. You make room for earnings and for rest. This is how wealth feels from the inside, not frantic, not fragile, steady. There will be mornings when you feel nothing special. You may look at the jar and think that you are only going through the motions. Let that be fine. Ritual is a language the deeper mind understands. Repetition writes a new path even when mood is low. You are not trying to perform. You are showing up. You are training your attention to return to a clean line again and again. That is enough. The results gather in their own pace. You will wake one day and see that you have crossed a line without strain. The room inside is brighter. The next step is obvious. The fear that used to stop you is quieter. This is how deep change arrives. Quiet, sure, real. You may want to mark the turns in your spiral. At the start of each month, refresh the salt and write one simple decree for the month. At the end of the month, pour the old salt away with thanks and read your page of proofs. Let the pattern teach you. You will see that the law is faithful when you are faithful to your word. You will see that your life bends toward the tone you choose on purpose. You will forgive yourself for the days you forgot and celebrate the days you remembered. This is a gentle path. It welcomes you back every time. If someone you love asks how to begin, offer them a pinch of salt and a sentence. Tell them to keep it simple. Tell them that it is not about the perfect item, but about a steady choice to speak from faith. Share a line that helped you, then let them make it their own. Prosperity grows best when it is not policed. Trust the process in them the way you trust it in yourself. Bless their start. Release the outcome. Watch how quickly the current moves when you give without strain. As your confidence grows, your giving will grow with it. You will notice chances to support others in small ways. A kind note, a referral, a gentle gift. You will do it with a light heart because you know how circulation works. What moves returns. What you bless, blesses you. You will also become more skillful at receiving. You will say yes when help is offered. You will allow the compliment to stand without deflecting it. You will accept the open door without telling a story about why it came too soon. This balance is the mark of a field that is learning how to hold more. Remember that the deepest shift is inside. The salt is a tool. The decree is a tool. The power is your choice to agree with increase and to walk as if you are already supported. When you make that choice again and again, the world answers. A path appears where you could not see one. The right partner calls at the right time. A habit that hurt you falls away because it does not match the new tone. You will call this a miracle when it arrives. Later, you will see that it was the normal result of a clear cause repeated with care. Take a breath with me now. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your chest rise and fall. Place a hand on your container or imagine it if you are away from it. Speak slowly so you can hear your own calm. I activate the salt law. I allow abundance to enter my life. I release old blocks and welcome new blessings. Under grace, pause in the quiet after the words. Let them settle like seed in good ground. There is nothing to force. There is only a clean agreement between your voice and your next step. If you falter, begin again. If you rise, give thanks and continue. If you doubt, return to the anchor and let it do its work. The spiral does not punish, it invites. Each return makes the groove deeper. Each act of faith strengthens the current for you and for the circle that walks with you. We are many. We are learning the same simple lesson in our own rooms and cars and kitchens. The law answers a clear word. The field loves a steady tone. Supply recognizes a door that is held open with patience. Let this be your seal. I am a living channel of prosperity. I receive, I give, I bless, I multiply. The way opens in perfect ways under grace. The spiral is complete for this step. My abundance is anchored. It is done.